AJ Lee is back in WWE, and these are 6 opponents that we want to see because dream matches come and go, legends stay forever, and AJ Lee has a reputation as a legend. There are so many different talents that she can go in and work. Now, she is slated to work WrestlePalooza September 20th. Her, CM Punk, taking on our World Heavyweight Champion, Seth Rollins, our Women's World Champion, Becky Lynch. But what about the rest? What about the rest of the division? Who else can AJ Lee work with? I mean, you can go down the list. We're about to, from countless names on Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, and Tuesday NXT. But who are the cream of the crop? Who are the elite of the elite? And what are the styles that make the most sense? Well, that is what we are going to be discussing in today's video because here are 6 dream matches for AJ Lee. The first, the most obvious, Becky Lynch. It's a no-brainer. You can take it to the bank that after they have their mixed tag team match, Lee and Lynch will go toe-to-toe in a one-on-one contest, likely for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. But even if they weren't set to tag against each other with their husbands, a match between the two of the more influential figures in the WWE Women's Division, and its history is a clash that fans have wanted for years. Many people, including myself, considered Becky Lynch, because of her overall star power, her in-ring abilities, and just the ability to create moments, is the women's GOAT, the greatest of all time. So if you're the women's GOAT, yeah, you best believe a match with AJ Lee is on the horizon. I would be interested to see if AJ Lee actually takes the title from Becky, should they opt and make this a Women's Intercontinental Championship match, but it's certainly something that I have my eye on. AJ Lee versus Blake Monroe. It would be helpful if AJ were willing to use her fame and relevance among fans to help elevate younger talent. A perfect option for that would be NXT star and former AEW Women's Champion Blake Monroe, aka Mariah May. Now, Monroe is a rock-solid wrestler, but more importantly, a highly entertaining and evil villain. Lee, on the other hand, is a ultimate superhero to many right now. Taking an L to the rising baddie would help the company create a new long-term star. Let's be real about Blake Monroe. She's had shining moments. She's also had moments that did not work out as well as she or the company would like to see. Potentially getting AJ Lee to feud with Blake, getting AJ to put Blake over, could be the spot that WWE needs to help get Monroe over the hump. Woo! Charlotte Flair. Just like a match with Lynch, AJ Lee versus Charlotte Flair is a dream match for WWE fans. They are 2 of the top stars of their era and broke the mold for what women's wrestling in the company could be by well above average athletes compared to their contemporaries. It's a generational clash that we all need to see. It's a generational clash that we all must see. Now, I understand that while I may consider Becky Lynch the GOAT, or you may consider someone else to be the female GOAT, WWE is trying to make Charlotte Flair into that category. As the queen of WWE, Charlotte Flair is at the top of their list of the biggest high-profile female talents. I get that. I don't have to agree with that. You don't have to agree with that. But Charlotte Flair versus AJ Lee, you smell it? It smells like money. And WWE is just a matter of time away from booking it. AJ Lee versus Liv Morgan. Now look, Morgan was the secret MVP of WWE in 2024 and was having a strong run in 2025 until another shoulder injury that spring, or in the spring, forced her to be on the sidelines until next year. Yes, that really does suck. However, when she returns, she will again be one of the top baddies in the women's division. A feud with the ultra-beloved AJ Lee would be a great clash of generations, similar to Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus in 2023. Now look, Liv Morgan is a top star. You cannot deny that woman of her placement on the WWE card. They smartly went from having her as the women's world champion to the women's tag team champions, feuding with Becky Lynch, Lyra Valkyria, and countless others. So you best believe when Liv Morgan comes back, she's going to be at the top of the card, and hopefully AJ Lee is waiting on her there. Let's get controversial. Nia Jax. Now look, Nia Jax has been the biggest and baddest wrestler in the WWE Women's Division for years. With her being out of the title picture, she could use intriguing matchups in the months ahead. A rivalry with Lee could be fascinating. Firstly, because of the absurd size difference. Lee never faced anyone close to the size of Jax during her heyday, but the matches they could end up having would be way better than most people would think. Look, Nia Jax in 2025 is not Nia Jax from years ago. You got to give her the credit that she has earned. She has gotten tremendously better in the ring, better on the mic, and she's always had that presence, that aura, if you will, of someone you need to pay attention to. I think this would be a perfect David versus Goliath in a female version for these two. It would be something in which I would really like to see. We'll see if WWE ends up doing it or not. Finally, AJ Lee, Roxanne Perez. Let's get to it. Roxanne Perez is one of the greatest NXT women's champions of all time and the future of the women's division on the main roster. In a lot of ways, she feels like a modern-day AJ Lee, small but very athletic and a talented performer. Perez, facing the woman she has sweetly called mom on social media, could deliver some amazing moments in and out of the ring. They also have a little bit of history to play off of. What do I mean by that? Well, during the recent European tour, Roxanne Perez and CM Punk got to mix it up. And Roxanne took some shots at Punk and took some shots at AJ Lee on social media. It would be a dream come true for Roxanne Perez should she be able to step inside that squared circle with AJ Lee and go one-on-one. But will it actually happen? That remains to be seen. I think in a lot of ways, the idea of having AJ Lee go down to NXT, maybe not the most realistic thing in the world, but is it something from a dream standpoint, something in which as a fandom you would want to see? 1,000%. Now, we also have to keep in mind that, look, we don't know how long AJ Lee is going to be in WWE, but if she sticks it out long enough, maybe Blake Monroe, maybe Roxanne Perez, two women who I think are main roster ready, could be called up, could be elevated to the main event scene, and that is certainly something that would lead to a potential clash with AJ Lee. It just really depends on what WWE wants to do, how long AJ wants to wrestle, how often she wants to wrestle. Just a ton of different things to look at, talk about, and see. But I'm very, very intrigued by all of this.